I had like a revulsion to Christianity in my mid-20s when I started to really think like, what is this brainwashing? Oh, I was told my whole life, this is what it is, dude. Don't even like, and so I understand that.
And as you were saying before, that it may not necessarily be that any one of those is the right answer, that there could be a combination or multiple. And the adherence to one particular dogma prevents us from doing that. And that's why, when I talk about what we should follow, as Tim put it, the mission for this new secular conservative movement, that doesn't conflict with religion. It doesn't conflict with belief in God or Taoism or Hinduism or Islam or anything else. It just has the base values. Again, community, family, merit, gratitude, capitalism, these kinds of things that we all agree upon as Americans. And whatever else you believe, or if you come to those values by this God or by that book or whatever, then that's great. And I've been trying to push this and say, guys, I think if we do this, then we can keep a lot more people from going down the I was Christian and now I'm a leftist pipeline. I think that, that rage that you're talking about when you find out, I certainly went through it. I was in my 20s when I started figuring out like, oh, I don't think I believe in this thing that was the hierarchy structure for my entire life. I don't think I believe in it. And that causes a lot of frustration, which is, why you see the militant atheists. Most atheists are not really talking about their atheism and religion that much. It's the ones that are just figuring it out. And so that's why we have the representative heuristic that they're all angry. But that's not the case. That's just not the case. And I think if we can open it up more to hey, we're all Americans, regardless. Definitely shout out to the Timcast Discord. If we can, regardless of how you came to these values, if you believe in these things, then we are going to be the party, the group, the whatever that has the power to move our society. And so I keep putting it to people. Hey, tell me where I'm wrong.
Oh, I think you're right that what I was thinking is community while you were talking, like these ideas and concepts of morality are kind of a communal perspective. Like we come together to all kind of agree, like this is the best. And that's what's the most important thing, whether you think it's godlike or just pure, just an algorithm playing out pressure variance or whatever. If you have a community, that is what keeps you sane and rational. Like I found personally, isolation is very hard. It can become very detrimental. And I got very sad. I had like a revulsion to Christianity in my mid-20s when I started to really think like, what is this brainwashing? Oh, I was told my whole life, this is what it is, dude. Don't even like, and so I understand that, like, but it was the community and like listening to people. Like I realized I care more about, I'm going to call out Michael Knowles because I love him. I care more about Michael Knowles' well-being than what he believes. And that is like, absolutely. It's the community. It's like being a part, having friends and things like that supersedes like and then I can listen to the beliefs and I can kind of see the metaphor in the way he sees it or that one would see it. But I can still relate because it's important. I want to see your perspective, whether I agree with it or not.
Fair enough. Oh my goodness. Inside of the Ages blessed the show tonight, out sponsoring himself. So there is Jesus, and there is the Jesus of the censorship board, Nicaea. I'm not familiar, but the Catholics co-opted Jesus into someone to wait for instead of someone to emulate. He was killed. He was killed for pointing out the corrupt. That's a great point. He was killed for, he was co-opted into somebody to wait for instead of somebody to emulate. Great.
That is very insightful. The Nicene board is a group of like priests or bureaucrats that came together to decide what parts of the story of Jesus, the Bible, the New Testament would go into the book and what would come out of it. And so they censored it, and then they made sure it is, from what I can tell, they probably built it in a way that it benefited the bureaucrats of the time. I love that comment. I think emulating be like Jesus, do what he would have been. I mean, that is absolutely the way forward.
I completely agree. Yeah, and that's the, again, bringing back the irony is that so many people would, I mean, Jesus was hated in his time, especially near the end. And so shout out again to Zippy the Strange, added you to the sponsorship banner there with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Yeah, Jesus was hated at the end, and the part of the story that people should understand is that he didn't, it wasn't that he was loved, and still he had the message that people should behave this way, and exactly as Insight says, he's co-opted into somebody to wait for, that we just have to do this and Jesus will come, instead of, hey, this guy did this stuff and he was pretty cool, let's just be like him.
He was questioning Judaism like hardcore. He was kind of reforming it for the modern age. Like, hey, yeah, the book says this from 800 years ago, but we live in a different time with different technology now. So it is actually okay to eat pork because we can clean it now. And he also lived in an empire, literally the Roman Empire, who would stomp out dissent. Like, we're in a position now where we don't. And as far as I know, he didn't have like mass media and a guitar. Like, if he'd been able to charismatically convince 100 million people, he might have been able to pull it off. Globally, and like overthrow the empire, come back to like worshiping God through local community and things like that. And I feel like we are on the precipice. If not, it's already happened now, but we need to keep the momentum going.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And keep questioning. That's why I question religion. Just what Jesus did. And I think it's what he would do right now. He'd be like, okay, this is all the data. Let's question it. Let's poke holes in it, and the stuff that makes sense, let's use it. Let's keep it going and make it better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got a tattoo. Oh, on wrong arm. On this arm it says, "Believe nothing." I know my arms are tiny, but believe nothing except that anything is possible. And that's that is a something that I hold very dear. That you should believe nothing except that anything is possible. Shout out again to Insight of the Ages, another $2 super chat. That the baptism is just Jesus and his cold plunging bros.
Yo, that's awesome. Yes,
I love that. And we got indie film. It's like watching two Jesuses. Jesus, I don't know, but thank you very, very much.
That'd be Jesus squared for the record.
For Morty. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.